Welcome to Chapter 4, Day 12. We are on Section 4.10, which is Systems of Linear Inequalities this time. So the way we're going to solve these inequalities is with graphing. Now, there is many options, like always, when you're graphing. I'll show you many strategies, and you kind of pick the one that works best for you. Starting off, I'm going to graph each line separately. Then I'll shade each inequality right away. At the end, what's overlapped is my solution area. Here is my first inequality. This is in standard form. I don't know how to graph standard form. I'm going to try to put it into slope-intercept. So I'm going to do the same steps as I would if it was an equation. I get y is greater than or equal to negative 5/3 x minus 5. This is the inequality I'm going to now graph and shade. Some information about this is that I'm going to start at the point 0, negative 5. That's my y-intercept. I'm going to have a slope of negative 5/3. So let's make sure our line is decreasing, as well as this symbol, the greater than and equal to, is telling me a solid line. Very important that you write that down. It's as a check for you, as well as we can see your process that you're thinking. Now I'm going to graph this just like I said, and start at negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to go down 5/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to keep going the entire graph length. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Looks like that. It's a solid line, so let me connect that very carefully. And now I need to figure out where to shade. You're either shading to the right or to the left. I like to choose a test point. I'm going to choose the test point of 0, 0 whenever I can. It's a very nice test point if your line is not really close to it. Okay, it's clearly on the right side, so I'm going to test the point 0, 0, which means plug into your equation with 0, 0 in your x and y, and I'm asking myself, is 0 greater than or equal to negative 5? Well, yes it is. Since it's true, I know I'm going to shade where the point 0, 0 is. In this case, it's to the right side. So all of this over here is my true solution. So shade it very carefully. You know that the whole thing over here is true. If you don't want to shade, maybe you're not using your iPad, people have done arrows showing that this is the solution area. You also could put like diagonal lines or some kind of line to show you that this is a solution. Your preference is our preference. Okay, as long as you're organized and neat, I'm going to erase it though because it's going to mess up my organization, then we're okay. You will be doing this on either paper or on Notability or Classkick, so just be aware of whatever format works best for you. That's the first inequality. We have to do the same thing now for the next inequality. 2x minus 6y is less than 12. This is standard form. I'm going to get it into a form that I can understand. I need to divide by a negative. Flip. Don't forget that. Whenever you divide by a negative, you need to flip your sign. And here is the inequality I'm going to graph. Couple things about it. I'm going to start at 0, -2. My slope is a positive 1/3. Due to the inequality symbol, I know it's going to be a dashed line. And now I'm going to graph that. Start at -2, up 1/3. Make sure you plot the entire graph. This needs to be a dashed line, so make it very clear to us that it's dashed. And now I need to figure out where to shade. Ignore the blue, pretend it's not there. I'm going to test the point 0, 0 again, because it's clearly above my purple line. So I'm going to test the point 0, 0. I'm going to plug it into that inequality, and I'm asking myself, is it a true or false statement? Is 0 bigger than -2? Yes, it is. Another true statement, which means I'm going to shade where that was on my graph. Notice it's above, so I'm going to change my color. I'm going to shade everything above, completely ignoring the blue that was there. Pretend it's not there. This is my solution for just the purple inequality. Don't know why I keep doing that. Well, now I have a system though, so I need to know where both of them are true. Well, that is right here in this section of your graph. So however you want to make it very clear, I usually like to put an arrow and say this is my solution set, my solution area. It has a solid line on the left side, and the bottom is a dashed line. And that's how you graph the system of linear inequalities. You have to stay organized. One inequality, shade. One inequality, shade. In the end, it is the overlapping area. Let's do one more. Let's be careful about this. I'm going to do different colors because now there's 4 inequalities that I need to satisfy. Okay, first one, I'll start with blue. Y is less than 3x minus 4. Oh, this one's really nice. It's already in slope intercept. I'm going to write some information. I'm going to start at the correct y-intercept. I have a slope of positive 3. Based on my symbol, it's going to be a dashed line because I'm not going to include that line. I'm going to graph that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go up 3 over 1. It is a dashed line, so I'm going to make that very clear. And now I need to shade. You can do the test point idea, or you can look at the symbol here. That's going to be confusing. So the symbol says y is less than that line. Well, if it's less than that line, here are all the y values that are less than that line. All those y values fall into this area right here, which then becomes my solution area. Okay, you can use that as a way, or you can do the test point. Make sure you shade everywhere. Put your diagonal lines maybe, or your arrows in the correct area. Moving on, doing the second inequality now. 2x minus 3y greater than 6. You could find your intercepts, graph those, connect and shade. Another option. I'm gonna instead solve like I have in the past. Oops, I'm dividing by a negative. So I'm not gonna forget to flip. It will become 2/3 x minus 2. I'm now going to graph that line, inequality. Start at 0, -2. Your slope is a positive 2/3. Based on the symbol, it's going to be a dashed line. Completely ignore the blue. Pretend it's not there. Starting at -2. And I'm going to go up 2 over 3. It is a dashed line, so make that clear. You're ignoring the blue. Now, again, you can look at the idea of test point. So you could test 0, 0. Which I will show you here. So I'm plugging in, is 0 less than 2/3 times 0 minus 2? Is 0 less than 2/3? No, that's false. So that means this point 0, 0 is not in the solution area. Well, if it's not in the solution area, go to the other side. That part is. So that means here is the solution area. You also could look at the symbol and just notice that it said less than. So you shade all the y values less than the inequality. Okay, that's 2 of them. We have 2 more to go. Do it in green. Okay. Next one is y minus 2 less than or equal to -3/5 x minus 4. Hopefully you notice this is in point slope, so it's actually not as bad as you would think. This is telling you you're going to have the point 4, 2, the opposite of the x and the y. Your slope would be -3/5. Based on your symbol, it's a solid line. Let's try to graph that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, here we go. Down 3 over 5, is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I fall off, so let me go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. It gets a lot of things happening, so you need to be careful. It's a solid line, so here I go. Oops, not a good solid line, so I'm going to fix that. Being picky now, sorry. There we go. Now I need to shade. I can either look at the inequality symbol and shade below, or do a test point. Either way, depending on which method you use, you will shade below. If you are shading with different lines, make sure one of them is like horizontal, one of them is vertical, so you really can tell where they overlap. Okay, last one. I'll do it in orange. Y is greater than or equal to -5. This is pretty nice. This is just a horizontal line at y equals -5. It's going to be a solid line because of the equal sign in the inequality. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's this line right here. I'm going to move it up to be exact. There we go. That's the line y equals -5. Well, I want everything greater than -5. so that's shading above. I could again do my test point of 0, 0, because that's clearly on the top. And I'm asking, is 0 greater than or equal to -5? That's true, so I'm going to shade above. So here's my line, shading above. A lot of organization happening. There we go. Now this is pretty hard for me to tell where the solution is. Where do all 4 overlap? So maybe in this case the colors that I used weren't the best. However, I can double check each section and realize my solution is in this area right here. All colors overlap, all your arrows would overlap, all your lines would overlap, and again put an arrow for us and tell me solution set, solution area. Okay, every point in that red area is true for all 4 inequalities. It has to be true for all 4 in order to be the solution. Please stay organized. Find the best method that works for you. If you mess up one of the inequalities, everything falls apart. So take your time, write the little information about your point, your slope, dashed or solid, and then it'll help you check your work. Good luck!